anyway. Hey guys, welcome to tonight's call. We've got the amazing Andrew Foote as guest speaker, all the way from Adelaide. I'm surprised you're not in the hot tub, actually. We're busy in the hot tub when we went.
I'm not what?
In the hot tub out the back.
Carmen is.
Oh, Carmen is.
I just told her to turn the TV down because I've got to concentrate.
You got a TV out there as well. This is what happens when you've been in Herbalife for 30 years, I guess. So just to give you guys a frame up, obviously we spent a lot of time together on the Vietnam holiday, including a bike ride, Andrew's Mystery Tours. I don't think it's going to go off on the marketing side of things because probably there's like a three-way stack on the bike ride. It was a bit of fun. We canoed up the Mekong River and rode the bikes around in kind of rural Vietnam, which was really cool. Surreal experience, and got to see the proper countryside, I guess, as well. So Andrew's been in Herbalife for over 30 years, as you've seen in the last photo. It was 85 when you signed up, Footy?
No, it was the end of 86.
End of 86.
Actually, 87. 87.
87. Holy moly.
Was it? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, I think it was 87. October 87.
And how long have
What's that?
32 years.
32 years. Bloody hell.
And how long have you been a full-time Herbalife member?
20. I probably worked at about part-time for the first 2 or 3 years, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just over 2 years.
Yeah. Crazy. So
nearly this is all I've ever done since.
You wouldn't even know how to write a resume, this guy.
No.
And imagine the life, right? Being working for yourself, not having a boss for 30 years of your life, which is
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So we're really lucky to be talking with him. He's seen Jim Rohn and Mark live off the stage, which is something that you just can't get anymore, can you? So it's amazing, and he's got lots of knowledge, and on top of that, pretty good bloke as well. So, mate, I'm going to throw it over to you to share your story, which it's 30 years. So just keep in mind that you're half an hour behind us. So
that's all right. Bit of stuff. Well, gymnastics finished early, so I'm not in the car right now, so that's all good. What I can do, Jared, if you don't mind, I actually have got a couple of slides here I might just bring up. I was on a call with Wayne Levy the other night and just ran through a couple of these slides. So if you're cool, I'll share them if you're cool with that.
You're now the host. It's your show.
Just go share. So is that up there now?
Yep.
It is? Look at that. Slideshow from the beginning. Yeah, Mark Hughes. So hi guys. First to introduce myself, obviously, thanks for that, Jared. It was awesome hanging out with you guys. Me and my wife had an absolute blast with you guys. It was good fun, easy company, good laughs, no stress. And let's face it, when you're going on holidays, you want to go with people that are just loose and having fun, and there's no issues about anything. And I think that's great about Herbalife, is that you get to go on holidays with your mates. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It's a work holiday, so to speak, because we all work together, but you're hanging out and having fun. It's pretty cool to be with a bunch of good people. So it was awesome to hang out with you guys. But as Jared said, I have been a little while on the product. So I just want to back it up a little bit, because I won't take too long of your time, guys. I appreciate you being on tonight, but I guess it's like anything. We often, if you've heard the Millionaire training tapes, which I don't know if any of you guys have or not, but the Millionaire training tapes were done by a guy called Larry Thompson. He was Mark Hughes' right-hand man. And basically, Larry made $68 million in 10 years and retired. And you got that right, $68 million in 10 years and then retired. But Larry used to have a saying that, who do you look for in Herbalife? You look for dissatisfied people, because it could be dissatisfied with their job, dissatisfied with their lifestyle, dissatisfied with their weight, with their health. Maybe they're in a job where they don't have a lot of fun, so they're dissatisfied with that. Maybe they've reached the top of their job and there's no more growth. There's a million different things that people can be dissatisfied with. So the key is with Herbalife is never to prejudge anyone, because this was me at school. I was the fat kid. So I wasn't an outstanding sports person. I didn't excel at absolutely anything at school. I thought I was a nice guy. I gave everything a crack. But I was like one of the little fat kids at school. And then from that, I got into bar work. So that was me as a bartender at age 19. I had a beer in one hand and a Adelaide Special in the other, and homegrown, thanks very much. And, you know, that was me. And I was a pot-smoking, beer-drinking bartender. And that's what I was doing. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't like it, you know. My exterior was whatever, but deep down inside, I hated the way things were going. Financially, I had no money left over. Quite often, I'd tell my mates I didn't want to go out on a Saturday night because I wasn't feeling well. I just wasn't in the mood or whatever. It wasn't because of any of that. I had no coin, had no money. So, you know, when I wanted to go out and party, but I didn't have the money to do it. So at age 21, 22, or I think it was 21, whatever, or 23, 22, I think that's wrong because it is 22 when I started on the products. It was actually my mum introduced me to the products, and she said, you got to do something about your weight. And I know, check out that photo. You got to look at that photo and wonder how the hell did any of us ever make money looking like that? But you guys have got to remember, this is the 90s or the late 80s, the early 90s. The mullet was in, the see-through tops were in, the leather pants were in. It's just the way it was. So I wasn't like the odd one out. I don't think I was some screwball. I wouldn't dress like that today, but unless I'm going to a party or something. But you know what I mean? It was the 80s and the 90s. So, you know, that's how we dressed and that's how I was. But I was dissatisfied. And my mum said, go to this little meeting. And I'm going to talk a little bit in a moment about, you know, passion and where it comes from. But I went to my first little meeting. I jumped on the products. I lost 15 kilos over about 2 or 3 months. I felt great. A couple of my mates at the bar got on it. A couple of waitresses got on the products. A couple of my mates were in the sport. They got on the product. So I had a handful of customers pretty quickly. And I ended up going supervisor in my first month. I went in a line of 3. So there was 3 of us. And we did 2,000, you know, the line concept. We did 2,000 volume each. So we all qualified as supervisors. And look, it probably took me about 8 weeks, 9 weeks to move that 2,000 volume points. Back then, we didn't have set programs. Back then, you had to buy case lots of everything. So if you wanted 1 NRG, you brought 12. If you wanted 1 aloe, you brought 12. If you wanted 1 shake, you brought 12. They came in a box. It's the only way you could do it. So if you wanted 1 chocolate and 1 vanilla, you brought a box of vanilla and a box of chocolate. So 24 shakes when all I wanted was bloody 2. But that's how it was back then. Everything was in case lots. There was no mobile phones. There was no internet. You couldn't send stories to somebody. You basically had to go to a news agency, get it photocopied and get a printout, and then take them and hand them out to your mate. So it was pretty old-fashioned stuff. But back then, we had to learn to use this, the mouth. There was no instant gratification. You couldn't just text 30 people, go send, and have 30 people see your story. You basically had to dial a phone number, and you had to do that after hours, after 5 o'clock, because nobody had phones at work. So you couldn't text someone in the middle of the day. You'd have to wait till after 6 o'clock till everyone's got home, and then you'd have to ring their home number. And a lot of my friends were still living with their mums and dads. So, oh, can I speak to Joe? It's Andrew. It was crazy. But I got a bunch of clients. They started getting great results. And, you know, I got off to what I considered back then quite a good start. Today, it certainly isn't a fast start. I made about $700 in my first 10 weeks, I think, something like that. So not a lot of money. Made about $2,500 in my first 3 months. But it gave me a taste for what was going on. And as a bartender, to have an extra $2,500 in that 90 days, I felt like a king. It means I could go out on Saturday and Friday night. I could spend money. I could buy a pizza. I could buy beers. I could buy rounds of drinks for people. I'd never been able to do that. It was always just enough money for me to buy drinks and stuff. You know, I was able to put some new tires on the car, the new stereo in the car. So friends started saying, what's going on here? I said, man, I'm making some great extra coin. You've got to jump on this thing. So a few mates started getting involved in the business. And I think in my very first year, you got to remember, this is 1989 or whatever it was, I think I made about 25 grand. So not a huge amount of money, but that was probably equal to what I was making as a bartender. My second year, I think it was about 35,000 that I made. So it went up. And at the end of my second year, that's when I quit, the bar job and just got straight into Herbalife. And, fast forward, I'm now 53 years of age, 3 kids. Herbalife's been my full-time gig for the last 30 years. I don't work anything else. I don't do anything else. Obviously, I've got some investments and stuff like that, brought a few homes and bits and pieces, but Herbalife's all I've ever done. So it's been it's been an incredible journey for us. But I got to be honest with you, like Jared said, I got to meet Mark Hughes on a couple of occasions, and it was awesome to be at it. And here's the thing about it from my standpoint is because one of the things you're going to need in this business is some passion. You're going to need some passion. If you haven't got passion, you're not going to last very long. Okay, you won't. Because if it's just about the money, the problem when it's just about the money is what about when the next thing comes into town? You're gone. You're on to the next thing. You're on to the next thing. You're on to the next thing. Oh my God, we're just launching this ground floor opportunity. You know what ground floor normally means? That's where it stays, ground floor, right? You got Herbalife, which is now 40 years old, a $7 billion a year company, publicly listed. There's no better time to be in a company like this. But if you're only drawn to it because of the money, you might be drawn to it in the beginning because of the money, but that will not keep you in Herbalife for 30 years. That I can promise you. It won't. It won't keep you here for 30 years. Okay, it'll keep you here for 5 or 10 until something else comes along that you look like you can make more money and you'll be off to that. So you've got to find your passion within this business somewhere. I was lucky enough to meet Mark Hughes. And so, he was just one of those guys that you knew he was for real. Just one of those straight out bloody good blokes. He was just a really, really nice bloke. And you just knew that when he talked, you just felt compelled to want to be a part of what he was doing. So I guess my passion, a bit of it came from the fact that I got to meet him. But I got to admit, I thought this is how the business was going to go. I was convinced it was going to be like this. I was convinced I was going to make 50,000 my next year, 100,000, 150, 200, 300. That's how I thought it was going to go. Didn't quite work that way. It's probably been a bit more like this. And that's why I'm saying if it's only the money that's keeping you here, what happens when you have one of these down periods? And if you haven't experienced it yet, I'm not going to lie to you. Of course you're going to. Okay? It's the ebb and flow of business. You can't be in business for 30 years and have 30 years of straight out growth, right? For most of us, that's never going to happen. Maybe for some of us, there will. And there'll be a handful of people in Herbalife that does happen for. But for the majority of people, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. And if the only thing keeping you here is the money, that's great when you're up. What about when you're going through a bit of a valley? Then what do you do? Okay? That's where the passion for what you're doing comes in. And if you don't build on that passion, you're going to have some problems. So there's a few things that I reckon you need to be passionate about. Number one is about the brand. I wear the brand wherever I go. I'm always branded. I've got a T-shirt on. I've got a badge on, whatever it happens to be. The day we were flying out for Vietnam, and I'm talking about the morning before my flight, we had a 10 o'clock flight. So at 8 o'clock, my phone's ringing. And it's a lady that I'd met on the plane going to the World Team School 2 weeks earlier, or whatever that World Team School we have with Mark and Jill Addy. And she was a South African that I met on the plane. We started chatting. She was going to Sydney for a Pilates yoga thing. And I said, I'd love to, keep on contact with you on Insta and see how your yoga thing goes. And, maybe, if you want some information on Herbalife, let's hook up on Insta. So we did. And then I sent her 1 or 2 messages after getting back. Never heard back from her. Didn't think much of it. And then the morning I go, she rings up. Hey, listen, we want to get started. We want to get registered. We want to get on products. What have I got to do? And I said, I'm about to send you an email. I'm about to jump on a plane. I'll send you the email and I'll check it when you can get me on Messenger and Instagram, but, I won't be on the phone. I'm out of here for a week. I go away, come back. She signed up, registered, brought all the product. Her and her husband are up and running on the products. Now, if I wasn't branded and talking to her and being the brand myself, it's not about wearing a T-shirt, okay? You've got to look the part as well. If I'd been sitting next to her and I'd been in the business 30 years and I was 20 kilos overweight, she's probably going to think, oh, you've been on the products for 30 years? Yeah, maybe not for me, okay? So you've got to, be passionate about the brand, and you are the brand. So wear something every single day. That's my advice on that. Number 2, be passionate about your clients' results. Because I can tell you right now, it was 2 results that got me into this business. 2. I went to a meeting, and lucky enough for me, the meeting was being run by a guy called Gary de Brabander. Gary de Brabander, God rest his soul, he's gone now, but he was at the first chairman's club in Australia, and he was pretty well my adopted, sponsor, because my sister-in-law dropped out, Judy Barnes dropped out. There's about 3 that dropped out before, I got to Gary, so he sort of adopted me. But there was 2 people in that meeting. There was about 30 people in that meeting, and 2 testimonials got me. Okay, number 1 was Gary. He was a bartender. And that month, he'd made $27,000 for 1 month. And I said to the guy sitting next to me, I said, did he just say $27,000 for the month? And this guy says, I think so. And I'm like, fuck. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's more than most people were making in an entire year. And he was making it in a month. This is back in 1989, where the top income in Australia was about 50 grand a year. So this guy was like, boom. And then the next one was a lady called Jan McMahon. And Jan McMahon was a housewife. And this was Jan McMahon's story, almost word for word. Hello, my name's Jan McMahon, and I work at a supermarket packing shelves. And last month in Herbalife, I made $5,000. She couldn't even look at the audience. She was that petrified. She was shaking like a leaf. She was about 50 years old. She was a grandma in my eyes. I'm 21, 22. She was a grandma in my eyes, and she'd made $5,000 in 1 month. And I said to the guy next to me, I said, we're going to get rich. I said, if a housewife like that can make $5,000 a month, and that guy can make 27, I'm in there somewhere. I don't know where, but I've got to be in that mix between a housewife packing shelves and a bartender. Andrew Foote has to be in there somewhere. They were the 2 stories that got me. So don't ever, ever discard one of your clients, because that one story that you have could inspire the next 22-year-old bartender. Okay, now I've done almost 2 million volume in my business. 2 million, my personal volume is getting close to 2 million since I started this business. Can you imagine how many lives I've affected? And it came because I heard 2 testimonials. So 2 things. Don't ever disregard your testimonial and how powerful it is, right? You might not think it's that powerful, but the person hearing it could be the one they needed to hear, okay? Secondly, your clients. Be passionate about their results, be passionate about your clients, because that one testimonial could be the next testimonial that gets a Jared, that gets a Quinton, that gets a Bobby. You just don't know. So be passionate about that. Number 2 is be passionate about the products. There's not a product on the market that we've got. We're not the only product out there. Don't get me wrong, right? And I'm not saying our product is the end all of all, okay? And that it's got to cure absolutely everything, can do all this. But let me tell you this. I don't think there's another nutritional product on the market that's doing for people what the Herbalife products are doing. And I've been taking this stuff for 30 years. I feel fantastic. I've had hundreds of clients get amazing results with weight loss now. And look at your own testimonials here. You only have to look at Bobby's before and after picture. And there's some of you guys I don't know, but I'm sure you've got similar results. The product works every single time. So be passionate about it. It's actually making a huge difference in a lot of people's lives. So don't disregard that. And the last one is Mark's mission. Mark, from day one, here was Mark's mission, okay? Person by person, day by day, country by country, we're going to take Herbalife around the entire world, and there will be a day that everybody will have a can of shake in their house. That was Mark's mission. Mark never said, we're going to get everybody to president's team. It's going to be amazing. We're going to become billionaires. That was never his mission. His mission was to change the nutritional habits of the world. And for those that joined him, there was an opportunity to be financially very set for life if you chose to take on that mission. Okay. Now, mission might be a bit of a corny word or a strong word, whatever you want to call it, but that's exactly what it was. It was Mark's mission to take these products around the world. So get passionate about his mission, but more importantly, what's your mission? What's your project? You've got to have a project, guys. Like if you're, just starting out in this business, maybe your first project is to make $1,000. But that's an outcome. That's not a project. That's an outcome. Where does that $1,000 come from? There's only one place it comes from. Make no mistake about this. Make no mistake about this. There's only one place our money comes from. When someone consumes our product. It's the only way. You don't get paid royalties on thin air. You don't get paid 50% for selling dishwashing liquid, okay? You get paid when someone swallows this product and gets a result, right? So make no mistake about that. So Mark's mission, if your mission is to make $1,000 this month, what does it equate to in people? Don't chase the volume, chase the people. Now, your project might be to help 20 people. So let people know what your project is. Hey, listen, I'm passionate about health and nutrition, and my project over the next 60 days is to help another 20 people get in the best shape of their lives. Who do you know that I can help? Because here's what I've realized over my time, right? Is that people tend to be inclined to help you if you're got a project versus trying to help you personally. Hey man, I want to make some money. I'm trying to sell some product. Why don't you become one of my customers? Versus, hey, I've got this project. I've got a goal. I've got a strong passion of health and nutrition. I've got a goal that I want to help 20 people in the next 60 days get in the best shape of their lives. Who do you know that I can help? I've helped this guy over here called Billy and this guy over here called Johnny. I don't know. Whatever your thing is. But get a project and a mission in Mark's mission. Mark's is to take it around the world. Maybe yours is to take it around the street. Okay? Maybe it's to help 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, whatever your project is. Within our organization, our project for 2019 was to help another 2,540 people. That was our project. Okay? And the team's been passionate about it and going for it. And that's our project. That's what we're working on. Now, we're not going to hit it in 2019. We've got about halfway, but our goal now is to parlay that into 2020 and smash the rest of that challenge so it's out of the ballpark. Okay. Now, by doing that, the outcome of my organization hitting that 2,500 people means that there's going to be 2 people hit Millionaire Team and about 4 of them will hit Global Expansion Team. Now, within that group, I don't know who that's going to be. I pretty well do know, who it's going to be. And within their project, okay, so for Dallas, her project is 80,000, volume. That's her project. So she knows she needs to have about 800 people using the product. So within that, what does that mean? She's got to have some people that have got their own projects to help maybe 100 people. So you can have a project within a project within a project, but it's your personal project so that when you're talking to people, you're not talking about you, what you want. You're talking about something that's bigger than you. It's a project. Mark never talked about himself. He talked about the mission of taking the products around the world. Okay? And along the way, all these people got started. Now there's President's Team and Chairman's Club. And some of these people are making, 100,000 a week. A week. Can you imagine that? Selling shakes and tablets. And they're making $100,000 a week. Blows my mind. Because it was a project. Okay? It wasn't about going out and making 100,000. And with Mark Hughes, it wasn't about becoming a $7 billion company. It was about getting this product in every household around the world. So for me, that's my top tips. Be passionate about those 4 things. And if you make a passionate and you make an issue of those 4 things, everything else falls into place. Because if you're passionate about the brand, you're passionate about your clients, you're passionate about the products, you're passionate about Mark's mission, you're going to make money. You're going to make a lot of money. And you're going to have a lot of people within your organization making a lot of money. But the minute they just focus on the money, the problem is when you have a little bit of a hiccup or a few clients quit or a few of your members quit or a couple of your supervisors quit, now where's your attitude? It's rock bottom, as mine would be. But if you're passionate and you've got a project, it's like, hey, okay, a few things go wrong, let's pick up and let's get going again. And you keep moving. So that's all I really want to cover on passion. I think you guys have probably picked up that I'm pretty passionate about Herbalife. I'll leave you with this to remember, though, guys. All around the world, there's only three parts to Herbalife. There's the product, the marketing plan, and you. Okay? You're the only variable. It's the same product in every single country. It's the same marketing plan. I know, Bobby, you like the way I did the you? It's good, isn't it? Because that's it. It's the only variable. You know, Jared's got the same products as Bobby and me. Okay, he's got the same marketing plan as you and me, but he's making, 30, 40 grand a month because he's the one that did the work. It's as simple as that. Okay, so you're the only variable. You're going to have to learn some skills. You're going to have to maybe learn some other bits and pieces on how this business, but that's what it's all about. You want to, I can tell you now, there's not a personal development, course you can take that's better than Herbalife. Herbalife is the best personal development course you'll ever put yourself through. Absolutely. Look at all the different people you got to work with. Look at all the ups and downs you got to deal with. And those they're there to help you grow personally to get over that next hurdle and the next hurdle and the next hurdle, right? So make no mistake about it. For us, like as I said, it's been pretty amazing for us. We've been able to take the kids around the world and have a pretty good lifestyle and just, just not stress too much, which is a pretty good feeling. So, whatever you want from Herbalife is what you're going to get from it. And, all I can say is that it's a pretty good journey. It's a pretty good gig to be a part of. And, one day maybe you're going to be full-time, maybe you're not. There's plenty of people doing Herbalife that, are pulling in an extra 20, 30 grand a year around their regular jobs. And, that's it. Think about the three things you can do with Herbalife. Number one, let me give you some worst case scenarios. Let me do this. 4 things and then I'm done, Jared, because I'm going over. Sorry, mate. Number one, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. You're going to feel bloody great on the product. You're going to feel great. You're going to get healthy. Your family's going to be healthy. And you're going to have the best chance for great health that you ever possibly can. That's the worst case scenario being involved in Herbalife. The next scenario is you're going to feel bloody great, have incredible health, and you'll make a little bit of money. Yeah, a couple of $100 here, a couple of $100 there, maybe to pay off some bills. It'll just ease the pressure a little bit. That's your second one. The third one is you're going to go out and build a great little supplementary income. Okay? 2, 3, maybe even 4 grand a month, but certainly 2 or 3. An extra 30 or 40 grand a year. Now, imagine if you've got your full-time job and that's paying your bills and it's paying your mortgage and it's doing all this. And then there's an extra 30 grand a year play money from Herbalife that you can invest, you can spend, go buy another house, go buy some shares, put it in managed funds, do whatever you bloody want with it. Go and buy your sports cars, go on these holidays. It's up to you. It's 30 grand a year play money. How many people get that opportunity? Not very many. And then the fourth thing is you're going to get incredibly healthy and you are going to get total financial security for the rest of your life. So worst case scenario is get healthy. Best case scenario is get healthy and get rich. And then in between, there's 2 pretty good scenarios as well. So if the worst case scenario is you're going to get healthy and feel great, why wouldn't you get involved? Makes sense to me, even if it's just for the health. So I'm going to leave you with one last thing, and then this is it. And then I'm done. Eat more ice cream. I was listening to a radio station about 2 years ago, and they were interviewing this old man. It was his 100th birthday. He was 100 years old, so the radio station rang him. Hey, we just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, rah, 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 rah. 100 years, oh my God, you've seen the plane, you've seen cars, you've seen this, da. And he goes, he says, and the radio commentator goes, so any complaints, anything you would have changed? And this old man goes, complaints. And I'm thinking, here we go. He's going to whinge about the government and he's going to whinge about this and whinge about that and rah, rah, rah. He said, yeah, ice cream. And the commentator on the radio goes, what? He said, ice cream. The commentator says, what the heck do you mean ice cream? He says, I wish I ate more ice cream. And I'm sitting there, and I got chills now telling this story because I'm sitting there in my car, and all I could think about was what an incredible life this old man must have had, that his only complaint was he didn't eat enough ice cream. It was his only complaint. He didn't complain about anything else, that he hadn't eaten enough ice cream. So for me and my family, wherever we go, no matter where we are, we get an ice cream all the time. All right. And I will boast about this one because this place has 101 flavors of gelati. It's the oldest gelati house in the world. It's in Rome. They've got 101 flavors. The queue up was almost an hour to get in the bloody shop. I kid you not. It was a line a mile long because it's the oldest gelati, whatever they call it, in the entire world with 101 flavors or 100 and something flavors. It was outrageous. I got to tell you, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, that's it. I've raved on enough. Let me get rid of that screen because I'm sick of looking at my head.
Well, I've got a question for you while that screen's up. What flavour did you have?
I'm glad you asked that.
Oh, no.
I always go lemon and chocolate. Always go lemon and chocolate. But it's the best flavour. The lemon and the chocolate together, sensational. I've got to be honest with you. I can't remember what flavour it was, but I do remember this, and it's a true story. Before getting to there, we had 4 days in Ibiza, just me and Carmen. We left the kids in Spain because we had some family in Spain. So we left the kids in Spain, and me and Carmen flew over to Ibiza to party out a little bit without the kids for 4 days. And this couple that we met there, we were saying we were going to Rome, and she said, she's the one that told us about this gelati house, and she told me the flavour to get. I can't remember what the name of it was. It had a weird name, and that's the flavour that I got because I took that photo and sent that to her as I took the photo and said, here we are, we're at your shop, and I've got your flavour. But I got to be honest, I can't remember what it was.
Message.
Anyway.
Crazy life. I really love the photo of you and the fam with the Ferrari in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Cracker photo, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So good.
List. Well, if you don't mind, mate, do you have time if the guys field some questions?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Like I said, gymnastics finished early, so I'm home.
Happy days. Yeah, that was incredible, mate. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I was still trying to figure out the pie chart, and that's why Bobby's like, it's a Y. He spoke you wrong. But anyway,
good.
You should have a little asterisk for people like me.
Do I need an asterisk on there? Do you want me to underline it next time?
Like on a crossword. Mate, I guess I took a couple of pages of notes here, so I'm just flicking back. But you've been in the business, like obviously a long time. If you had one, like I know there's lots of things in Herbalife that are seasonal and stuff like that, but if you had one key lesson you found across the wave, like what you learned in your learning pin, you have your learning pin. What do you think that is?
I reckon the events play a really big role, because I think if you're not getting to the events, you're missing out on the energy that you get from being around those people. And you can get it online and stuff like this is great, but we can't hug each other here. We can't handshake, we can't give each other a kiss. So for me, I think the events are really, really important because I love getting around my group. I love it that we can, mingle and stuff and sit down and have a beer and just, I don't know, face to face in real flesh makes a huge difference. And I think the other thing is that, like, the event that you miss, you just never know what's going to happen. Okay, the World Team School, for instance. We just got back from Bali from my wife's 50th birthday. So we'd been over in Bali for 3 weeks with the kids. I then flew back, then had to jump on a plane and go to the World Team School. And then 2 weeks later or 4 weeks later, whatever, we're flying to Vietnam. So the World Team School was sort of like the calm. I said, Jesus, how are we going to work this out? I'm only getting back from Bali 2 nights before. Maybe I just don't go to the World Team School. She said, you can't miss the World Team School. I said, I know, but it's just this juggling out with the kids and rah, rah, rah. Now, if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have signed up Taryn, my South African lady, because she was on the plane. And B, it was the exact training I needed. I needed that training. I needed the valleys. I needed to understand about the valleys and the peaks. I needed to understand about that structure, the Herbalife structure, your personal structure, your willingness to work, all of that stuff. I really needed that at that time. And I think back and said, oh my gosh, I was that close to saying no, not going.
Yeah.
So it's easy to look back when you join the dots on the events that you've gone to and the difference it's made. But if you don't go to the events, you won't join those dots and you won't know, because you don't know what you don't know. So you can miss out on so many things. So I think, I get really jittery when my guys or anything 60 to 90 days without a meeting. I know that that's not a good thing. Their chances of success drops dramatically. But if they're getting to a live meeting, every 30 days or every 60 days, they're gonna stay around the vibe, and they're gonna stay around the honeypot, and they're gonna be excited, and they're gonna pick up on all the new bits and pieces, and they're gonna be able to sharpen their tools a little bit and just fine tune what they're doing. Because you don't know the one comment that somebody says, and it's that one little comment that just does something for you. It's just that little tweak. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know. So for me, events, definitely.
Yeah, perfect. I was just saying on TGIM the exact same thing. Sometimes, you learn some stuff from doing personal development, but it's more the ideas that get triggered, I think, in your mind. It makes you think about things, and then all of a sudden thinking about things, and that it evolves into something that can actually change your life, right? So
absolutely. And I think the other thing is that meetings that you're mingling with other people, and you might be really down at the time, and then they're up and they pick you up, or you're up and they down. So there's that real yin and yang thing as well. And it's the old saying in it that, sometimes you need the meeting, sometimes the meeting needs you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go because I've got no guess. Well, that's the time you do need to go.
Yeah.
Because you've got to figure out why you've got no guess.
Exactly.
And sitting home is not going to change that. So
Gary said that to me, I reckon, on my first day.
Did he?
Yeah, get the brother. He said, well, that's why you have to come to the meeting, mate, to figure out why you didn't have anyone here. I was like,
yeah, there you go. Pick my mentor then,
huh? Mate, Tash Gillian has asked, what has been your biggest motivation and why?
My biggest motivation. I've got a few. We've all got I've got 3 kids, so I've got a pretty strong why of why I want financial security, because I want it for them. I think, the way everything's going with the technology and stuff, jobs are just going to become scarcer and scarcer. There's more computers taking over jobs. There's more machines taking over jobs. So, I've got 3 kids, 12 years of age, 14 years of age, and I keep thinking, well, what's it going to be like for them in 10 or 15 years? Probably not going to be that good. So I'm pretty motivated by my 3 kids to be up. And I think the other thing is that, I came from a very much a blue collar background. My mum was a waitress in a hotel. That's why I became a bartender, because she got me my first job. And my dad was a painter and decorator. He used to paint houses. We grew up in a trust house. Never owned a new car. So while there was a lot of love in my family, there wasn't a lot of money. So I never got to do a lot of things. Our camping trips and our holidays were all just to the local camping ground, and I didn't know any different, so it was great. But, I never got to do Disneyland as a kid, but I got to take my kids to Disneyland. And to see the smile on their face at Disneyland, I got to relive it all again through them. So for me, my biggest motivation is definitely, I just want to, give my kids the best opportunity in life. And I think Herbalife is about the only business that is the average person's best chance. Yeah. I mean, plenty of people make money in other things. Don't get me wrong there. I've got mates in the carpentry business that are, pulling in $250,000 a year, and guys in concreting that make $250,000 a year, and they're all on good money. But mate, they've given them an ounce of flesh to get it. They're working 60, 70 hours a week. They're burnt out. They're tired. They're exhausted. And when they stop work, their income stops. apart from their investments that they've set up. Great thing about Herbalife is that I'm going to have the investment set up as well. Plus, I'm going to have a residual income from Herbalife coming in for the rest of my life, which I can give to my kids.
Yeah.
You know? So I think, I don't know if that's really answered your question, but, you know, I think as you go through your stages of your business, different things motivate you. You know, as a bartender, I think I said at the start, you know, to have money to go out on a Saturday night, that was my motivation. You know, like having a couple of $100 of my own money in my own pocket to be able to go out on a Friday and Saturday night and not have to worry about it. Mate, I felt like I was rich because I'd never been able to do that before. I was always going out with $50 and thinking, okay, that's 10 beers. So if I have a beer an hour, who wants to live like that? It sucks.
Yeah, I've been there too.
Yeah,
I have
sucks.
If that's okay.
No.
No? All right, I'll go. What are your main DMOs, Footy?
Look, I do a little bit on Insta, not a lot, although I've got two clients today from Insta, which is about the first two clients I've had off Insta in a long time. So that's pretty cool. I'm very much walk and talk. I'm just out and about doing stuff every day. I still put out flyers, as crazy as that sounds, but I run a box fit in my local area. So I'm always handing out, you know, box fit flyers. It just gives me an excuse to talk to people. But we had a party Saturday night. There was a couple of waitresses there and I was just chatting to at the bar and we were just talking and stuff. I said, I'd love to hook up on you guys on Insta, you know, on Insta. You guys on Insta? And they go, yeah, let's hook up. So we just hooked up on Insta because they were giving great service. You know, we had a little party. They were awesome. I said, you guys are amazing. I said, is this all you do? Do you just work here? And one girl said, yeah, no, I'm studying plus working here. And then the other girl was working another bar job. I said, oh man, there's so many other things you guys could do. You got such great personalities. Listen, let's hook up on Insta. I'll send you some stuff. 2 more people on Insta. So I'm just going to tag them and send them some information. Referrals. I'm very much big on asking for referrals. I got one little Gumtree ad that I run. It's just basically just says health and fitness. Expanding my health and fitness business, 5 people required. Expanding my health and nutrition business, 5 people required. Gets me a few leads, but none of it really pans out. But you're still talking to people, so it's still, you know, panning out. But I'm pretty just walk and talk, Bobby, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
that's my main gig.
Suits ya.
Yeah, I think so.
Good thing to be good at. Endless leads if you can do that.
Yeah.
So guys, do we have any more questions or are we going to let Andrew go and jump in the hot tub and watch TV?
That's it.
You're good? All right. We'll do a photo.
Come on, Lisa, Meg, get your camera on.
Camera's off. On.
Camera's on.
Everyone turn their cameras off. Did someone bail? No.
That's it.
All right, guys. Good a smile. Legends. Cool.
Sweet.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
guys.
for your time. It's been amazing. If you ever want any of the guys to return serve for you, just let them know.
I will. And we'll see you all at the spectacular, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everyone here's got their ticket.
You've all got your ticket?
No? That was
going to be good. She's covering her face. She hasn't got a ticket.
No insurance.
Natasha's covering her face. No ticket.
She's going to get a ticket.
Come on, Natasha. Get the bloody ticket.
You just leave it till they're at the most expensive, and that's when she buys it.
Doesn't matter, as long as you're there. It's going to be pretty amazing.
On a better event, I think, is her logic. I don't know. Anyway, mate, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Catch you guys.
Dude.
Adios, amigos.
See you, mate.
See you, boys. Catch ya.